Hello everybody, how are you? And a huge welcome to episode 15 of Domain TV. So we're going to have a really relaxed episode today, and actually if you're down for doing this with us, we're going to connect to Domain to receive some sequencing to just help us slow down, be really present and in the moment, and to feel really peaceful and blissful, because Domain can literally be used for anything. You can just take your pick with it. You can connect to Domain and ask it to help you with anything, and it will flow you sequencing. And so over the last couple of episodes, we've been doing a couple of live sequencing runs, so you can see how I work with Domain myself. And as we're now kind of moving through into 2025, there's so many new ways and possibilities to explore Domain that are starting to open up now, or continuing to open up, and will always open up, because with Domain there's always more. So there's obviously our book, Our World, What Comes Next. Apologies if this is showing back to front. Facebook seems to have changed its settings where you can reverse the picture. They've moved things around. So I'm going to see if I can figure that out by the live next week. But Our World, What Comes Next is the book that talks about Domain energetics. And what's happening is, for most of you that know, we had the first year with Domain working with the incredible Domain leaders to really kind of explore Domain. Then we launched the School of Domain Energetics. So we launched the book in October. We launched the School of Domain Energetics in November. And now what we're doing is starting, or continuing rather, to take the message wider. And so what's going to happen is, over the coming weeks and months and years, is I'm going to be continuing to spread the word about Domain. And so what I'm already really noticing is all of the new opportunities that are opening up with Domain. So as an example, speaking about Domain with specificity to Enlightenment. So I'm going to be taking part at an event in October and guest speaking. More information to come, because there are 5 early bird tickets available for that as well. I'm also going to be speaking very soon, i.e. within the next couple of weeks, in a Facebook group where it's all about traveling and kind of highly sensitive people. And it's going to be beautiful, because in that group, I'm going to be talking about how you can use Domain energetics to heighten your experiences with traveling and exploring. And again, I'll share more information about that as soon as I've got it, because you're very welcome to join that group and come in and listen to that live and that interview. It's going to be beautiful. But I always had visions of this book being read by travellers. I've always had that vision. And so to be able to start to explore Domain to help enhance travelling experiences whilst you're exploring the world is going to be a beautiful way to explore Domain and what it can do as well. And actually, travellers are a really large set of people that are going to have a natural affinity with Domain. If you think about it, Domain's got this huge connection to Earth. It's all about seeing Sali, understanding things like oceans and their collective consciousness. Martha, those that travel love to explore. They're curious. They kind of want to have their thirst quenched when it comes to exploring and discovering new. And so there's such a beautiful affinity between travellers and Domain as well. So that's another way that we'll be exploring Domain and sharing with you here as well. So we're sort of just getting going now with kind of widening our reach now, and spreading the word with Domain. There's also going to be an interview that's coming out in America next Friday as well, about the book. So I will share that here as well. So it really is about kind of getting messaging out now. And so if you're loving Domain, we just say to you, if you want to, please go out and share this book with others, recommend it to others, because as we've always said, I don't want to keep Domain to myself. I definitely don't just want to keep it to those of us that have already worked with Domain so far, because as everyone knows, Domain is for all. So just continuous new ways to explore Domain. I can just feel there's such momentum and energy behind that at this time. So it's very exciting. And so this week, just in this episode, I've not actually sat down myself over the last week and had new discoveries and experiences with domain, although I did connect to domain earlier and I was receiving some understanding about universe energy, which is something that I've not really written about in the book. So I will share a little bit more about that when the time's right as well. But what I have been really experiencing is the joy in kind of slowing our energy down so that we can experience Earth and everything that's around us more deeply with the enhancement of domain energetics. And so this is the sequencing that we're going to experiment with this morning. Just explore with domain. You can join in if you want to and share what you get under the comments. So let's start with that, and then I'll just kind of summarize with a few things just to look out for that are currently sort of available to explore with domain as well in terms of Ceremonial Global and what we're doing here. So it might be one of our shorter episodes this week, but these episodes are very much serving as like I guess like a log of just what we're discovering, what we're exploring. Even on those weeks when it's a little bit quieter, we want to come live, we want to kind of share this amazing, wondrous, positive energy of domain with you because it's just so flipping scrummy. So just enjoy. So it's going to be a little bit lighter and simpler today, but still beautiful nonetheless. So for those of you that want to, there's so much exciting stuff to come, but for those of you that want to, right here, right now, you can close your eyes and allow your energy to connect to domain. And for those of you that are already following this page and interacting with domain, you're going to be used to doing this now. So you're very naturally going to want your energy to go to domain and connect to it. And in doing that, when you're feeling really settled and snuggled within it, because I haven't actually done this myself this week, so I'm just really taking the time to really enjoy this because it's so good to do it, because I haven't done it over the last week or so because there's been so much else going on. So connecting to domain feels so good. And feel those flows of love from domain back to you. Oh my God, there's so much excitement from Sally as well. There's such a massive energy state. Even though I was like, this is going to be a simpler, shorter domain TV episode today, there's a lot of energy and excitement. Oh, so much exciting stuff to come. So just stick with us and enjoy everything that we're sharing. So, okay, so once you're really kind of feeling connected to domain, ask it to flow you sequencing. If this feels good to you, you don't have to if you don't want to. Domain's all about free will and choice. But if you want to, ask it to flow you sequencing to just kind of help almost like slow things down so your experiences of things are being magnified in a really beautiful and positive way. And see where it flows you sequencing from. Is it going to be from somewhere in the multiverse? Is it going to be from somewhere connected to Earth? Is it going to be from somewhere in history? And it could be a combination of all. So just see what it flows you with no steering, as you know, because you're going to discover new again today. Every time you connect into domain, you discover new. It's wondrous. So I'm doing this myself, and I'm just going to see what comes through as well. And it's so beautiful. Just enjoy this. Why would you want to ever rush through an interaction with domain when it's just like, oh, the epitome of yum and like enlightenment? So just allow whatever it is that it wants to show you to come through. So I'm just going to focus now so I can receive sequencing as well and share with you what I'm getting. And the reason I do receive in this kind of more elongated way, I've come to understand, is that I can always share my experiences with you. I always want to get that understanding so I can share with you. Okay, so sequencing just to help slow and enhance experiences. So interestingly, I'm being taken to a butterfly and how it sees out of, is it its antennas? I guess it is. And that heightened, there we go, a combination between heightened and enhanced, in heightened sensory experiences that it has. Okay, I'm being taken backwards in time, so it's going back in history to this butterfly where Earth was very, very peaceful. So where mankind was much fewer in terms of its numbers. in a really beautiful way. And connected to a rainforest type environment there. I'm being kind of simulated in my mind's ear sounds of birds and the sensory sensations within that rainforest. There was no hustle and bustle because it just wasn't how it was then. It was very peaceful, very amplified, very present. And I'm being taken right now. I can feel my energy gathering that sequencing. And it kind of just filling me from the inside out. So this is how it's gathering the sequencing. It's almost just letting it flood out through my whole body. And in that, there's such relaxation. And this is how it works with Domain and Myriad working together, because Myriad just kicks in naturally when you're working with Domain. You are simulating things so clearly. So the energy of this rainforest is just stunning. Oh, so nice. But what's beautiful is it's taken sequencing from this rainforest on Earth, but it's historical. So imagine again just what that opens up for you. This isn't just receiving insight and knowledge. This is taking the sequencing and recreating it in my physical experience, and whatever's going on for you will be the same. So you're not just understanding that rainforests a while ago, you know, however long ago, were quieter, you know, less human influence, that type of thing. You're not receiving insight. You're or just receiving insight rather. You're taking the sequencing and letting your body drink it up, use it in the way that it wants to use it. And if you think about, I'm being connected to magnification, almost how, I don't even know whether this is true, as in like whether it's consciously understood in this way, but butterflies and the way they kind of see through their antennas. I don't know much about butterflies. It magnifies. That's very interesting. There's like a magnetization that occurs. Whether this is consciously understood or not, or whether this is connected to butterflies more in an ancient way, is very interesting. And the little kind of hair follicles or fur follicles on their bodies, again, the sensory elements of that. And also then, of course, taking on sequencing of simulation of what it would be like actually in that rainforest. And this is where Myriad brings it through in such a vivid way. It's just amazing. So while you're doing that, just keep enjoying. I'm just going to quickly check something myself as well. But just keep enjoying, and then you can let us know what you get. Oh dear. Okay, here we go. This is what I just wanted to do. This is the wonder of Domain I'm about to tell you. So I've just received, and I don't know anything about butterflies. This is what I mean. You don't have to be a scientist or a geologist or anything to work with Domain. I'm just a regular person. Yes, I would class myself as fairly intelligent, but I'm not like up with scientist, mathematician, geologist, astronomist type level, just because I've never studied in those fields really deeply. But I've just Googled, do butterflies' eyes magnify? Yes, the crystalline cone in butterfly's eye acts as a lens that magnifies light. Who even knew? So I'm actually just looking whether they have... That's fascinating. So they do have eyes as well as the antennas. That's the bit I was questioning as well. But what I'm getting... Okay, so this butterfly that I'm getting from the past, I'm being shown, its eyes were kind of connected through the antennas. This is really fascinating. And for those of you like the Domain leaders that work with me for 12 months with Domain, they're going to know that I had so many incidences like this where I'd receive from Domain and I'd be like, I didn't even know that before. And then I'd go and Google it and it would be true. So I'm just seeing if I'm getting any other insight that might help. Because again, this is a very usable way that you can work with it. Work with domain, receive things, and then kind of fill out your understanding a bit more. And every time you experience something like this, like I've just experienced, it's like, I haven't ever read that anywhere. That's just been shared with me through Domain and Myriad. They've simulated that to me. And so to kind of then receive that and then kind of get confirmation when you look online, it helps you to really trust and believe what you're receiving, so that when you do start receiving things that are multiversally connected, as an example, which can feel very out there in a beautiful way, but it can feel very out there to start with, you start to trust, because you're like, okay, well, I know so many other times I've received from Domain and that's been correct. So then you start to trust. It's so flipping exciting. I am literally being shown, though, eyes through the antennas. So this must be, okay, so this is, I'm being told, this is a butterfly that is now extinct, but was an earlier butterfly. This is fascinating, so fascinating. And I didn't even know that. So that straight there in that one interaction with Domain, I've got this pocket of receiving that will go beyond what humans have been able to perhaps consciously uncover so far in terms of ancient species of butterfly. And I don't need to take the knowledge much deeper if I don't want to, but equally I can. If I really wanted to, I could sit here, I could receive the name of that butterfly, I could understand more about it, I could understand, if I wanted to, more about where this rainforest was located, but I don't have to. Because what I've seen and experienced is enough. That just gives me that real lift from Domain in this moment. So not only am I benefiting from the sequencing that's being flown, I'm like, I've just uncovered something really beautiful and fascinating here that I didn't even know of before. It's really, really fascinating. So this is the kind of wonder that can open up, and this is why I just love working with Domain, because you never know what you're going to get. The sequencing always feels amazing when it flows. It always helps what you're wanting it to help with, but you're voyaging and discovering the whole time, and this feels like an element that we will continue to talk about more and more, like voyaging and discovering with Domain, because we want to keep widening our peripheral awareness energetically, so that we really just feel limitless, like we're not hemmed in any way. So that's really beautiful. So we'd love to know what you got as well, whether you're watching this now or, you know, months, years down the line, because this episode will always be here. We would love to know what you experience. And just think about this. Those that work with Domain, that then come together through Pathway to Thrive, which is a Facebook group in addition to this Facebook page, for anyone that's worked with Domain, you know, and myself, we're building that community over time as well. Imagine us coming together and the answers we're going to get and the insights that we're going to get and be able to share. And just the joy and delight and expansiveness. I can already feel the momentum of that group, like nothing's stopping us. It's like, well, we can receive this, we can receive this, we can receive this. It's like boom, boom, boom. And we're just regular people loving our lives and having this incredible, enlightened, expanded awareness. It's flipping awesome. So who knew that was going to unfold? So this is an example, again, of how you can work with Domain, but you can ask Domain for anything. So we just kind of thought it would be really lovely to share that. And in that sequencing, I can literally feel my body's drinking it up, just wanting to magnify, wanting to experience, wanting to enhance, wanting to feel really kind of sublime and blissful. All of that sequencing is being taken and shared, and it's going to run with me for the day, is what I'm being told. So how beautiful is that? I can choose it to run longer, but I can feel it's not my truth too. I just want it to run for today. That is my truth. So that's what I'm going to do. How flipping awesome. So that's that. And then in terms of other things, just to kind of look out for really over the coming weeks. Obviously, you know, we're offering the beautiful one-to-ones. So these are very much for people that have never worked with Domain before, or even energetics, and are just really curious and inspired and just wanting to work with me directly for this just precious, unforgetful 6 weeks together where we'll be discovering and voyaging Domain together. And these are so awesome. I am so excited about everything that's to come with them, because we're going to keep discovering and learning new together, and it's going to be flipping exciting, like energetic voyagers. Consider us that way, in a really fun and loving way. So that's kind of what's going on. We've obviously got our event in August, the first Domain in-person event. So check that out on sarahmorganglobal.com. Come join us. It's going to be amazing. Imagine us all in a room together, just doing and experiencing incredible things with Domain. We are going to be putting a section onto our website soon as well, just kind of listing events that we're going to be guest speaking at as well. And we'll just continue to keep sharing any interviews that we're doing, so you can watch those, because again, they'll be exploring different areas and facets of Domain as we continue to take knowledge of Domain wider amongst others, but also my own knowledge of Domain wider, because it's just chomping at the bit to go wider and wider all of the time now. So that's going to be really exciting too. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for more announcements about this interview that I'm going to be doing about how Domain can enhance your experience if you love to travel and roam and voyage the earth as well. There's so much good to come. Universe energy we will fill you in on when the time is right, but just, again, I'm just being guided to say that, you know, when you're working with Domain, you don't have to connect in every day. You could go a week or two, or perhaps longer if life's really busy, where you're not consciously connecting into it. But when you do, you're always going to get that just utter satiation feeling, that utter feeling of fulfillment. So that's always going to occur for you. So Domain is for you to use as and how you want. Get ready for us to really expand out now in our messaging and what we're sharing, knowing that you guys have been here since the very beginning, but there's so much more to come. So it's a very light episode of Domain TV this week. So much more to come, but don't underestimate the power of lightness and simplicity. Domain is about lightness and simplicity, and you know, so many are kind of working hard to feel good, but actually if you can just take Domain's simplicity and lightness and feel amazing, that's what we love. That's what it's all about. So if you haven't yet got your copy of this book, it's available on Amazon worldwide. It's available at sarahmorganglobal.com as well, as in all the links to click through to Amazon are available there as well. So much excitement to come. We love you so much. We hope you've had a wonderful week and that you have a wonderful week ahead, and we will see you again next Friday. We love you, we love you, we love you. Mwah.